bombs! I think I got it! About the bombs. I don't know if I actually mentioned this idea before. If not, then I am definitely gonna mention it right now. Because you know that I have come up with the theory of how our culprit is using bombs in their plan, in their mass murder plan, with all the details that I found in the past and figured out, this must be it. Well, the fact that they got those bombs from somewhere, I still didn't know exactly where they would where they would get those bombs. I was thinking maybe they had connections that they used Kinzo's gold in order to buy like tons of bombs and such. But maybe, just maybe, those bombs are coming from way back in the days when Kinzo was in the war and such. Kinzo managed to gather bombs that were mostly going to be used for war, and he stashed them somewhere. Maybe somewhere in the island. That's where the bombs come from. And our corporate find out about those bombs, and they're using it in a plan and such. So that is another extra detail that I'm gonna take into account. So there's that. Also, in regards to something that Erika mentioned before, in regards to how if Kinzo published this in the newspapers or not, like if Kinzo managed to publish the epitaph in the newspapers and all that, because if he were to do that, there would have been a lot of strangers trying to get the gold alongside the siblings, but we certainly do not hear of that. It is more so that after the murder happened, like witch hunters, quote unquote, witchy hunter, decide to try and figure out the mystery of the Rokkenjima mass murder and such. But before that, nobody was interested in the epitaph as such. That's because only the family knows about it. And if like strangers were to find out about the gold, given that if Kinzo decided to publish that in the newspapers, then that is strange, because in that situation, the siblings would never have taken it seriously. Like, if it was made public, the adults would have been scared if it turned out to be true, and some random schmuck decided to try the epitaph, and they would get the gold as well. So yeah, it kind of makes sense. It feels like an educated guess that nobody else besides the family would have known. Otherwise, there would have been we would have noticed some details that would have told us that, hey, this person or this person is trying to get the gold as well. But no. I mean, I guess I can see this as part of like Erika's educated guesses based on the previous discussion with the adults that apparently nobody knows besides his family. So she thought that, hey, if nobody else knows, then clearly Kinzo didn't publish it in the newspaper. So yeah, I guess so. I'm gonna give that point to Erika as well. So yep. Is Beatrice's loyalty to the grandfather the thing that drives her? Did grandfather give her some terrible order to kill everyone if the epitaph isn't solved? And she's so loyal that she faithfully carries that out? I must not stop thinking. Don't stop thinking. Don't just think of the riddle itself. Think about why it's significant. Why is Beatrice telling us to solve the epitaph? Why did she create such a confusing epitaph for us? If Beatrice makes us try and solve this epitaph that we have no real chance of solving, and by some lucky chance, a miracle occurs and someone is able to solve it, what significance does that have to her? I don't know what this miracle would be worth to battle. We tried looking at it from several different angles, but in the end we got stuck there and made no further advances. Also, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit different, although I don't sound different, but Either way, like 2 days ago, something happened that made my throat, like it damaged my throat and such. I'm not gonna go into detail about that, but I had damaged my throat like 2 days ago. Now it is better, but I can already feel that I'm having some problems in speaking for too long though. So yeah, I hope that it's not gonna be. I hope that my voice is not gonna be any different. It doesn't sound like it, like right now, but nah, it is the way it is. Also, since yesterday, my hand hurts. Maybe because I popped it a little bit, which really sucks. Like I cannot grab things that well. So yeah. Maria let out an extra large yawn. This caused several other people to yawn. We had been using our heads so much that everyone had gotten a little sleepy. Jessica, who had been silent and looking displeased the whole time, quickly stood up.
私はマリアと一緒に上へ行ってるぜ。テレビでも見てる。
そうだね。僕も上がるよ。そうだ。みんなで上でトランプでもしようか。
When George proposed this, Maria completely forgot about that big yawn of hers, and started jumping around, insisting that she wanted to play cards. Hey, Georgie boy, try to read the room a little bit over here. Don't you think that Jessica is being a little bit awkward here about this situation? So, I don't know about how you insist on playing cards and such. Judging by the clock, it would soon be 10 at night. It was already about that time you normally take a bath and get ready for sleep. Even the adults seemed pretty worried from traveling. We decided to continue this later and went our separate ways.
エリカちゃんも一緒にどう？トランプ。
お気持ちだけで結構です。客人の分もわきまえず、ちょっとしきりすぎました。今夜はおとなしく休もうと思います。
Yeah, I guess so. Playing cards and such, that can wait. And playing chess can also wait for this night at least. Still have to play that. Erika.
自分が遭難者であることをすっかり忘れていましたから。
まったくだぜ。とても溺れてたとは思えない元気さだ。
若さね。でも楽しかったわ。あなたのおかげで推理が一層進んだ気がする。もし私が黄金を見つけたら100万円くらい分けてあげるわ。
せめて気前よく1億ぐらいドーンとは言えんのか。
結構です。私に興味があるのは謎解きだけですので。それではこれで失礼します。おやすみなさい。
おやすみ。
Yeah, have a nice sleep, Erika. Don't let the bed bugs bite. And also have nice dreams. With lots of chopsticks in them.
あら、バトラ君は上に行かないの？
俺はちょっと面白くなっちまったんで、もう少しここで考えをまとめてみます。第一の番を示す文字列さえ分かれば、きっと一気に道は開けると思うんすけどね。
Everyone went up to the second floor one by one. Only Auntie Rosa remained behind, cleaning up the coffee cups everyone had been drinking out of. Kiria-san and some others had offered to help. But since Auntie Rosa had refused this, she was just washing them all alone. Since I had just been treated to such delicious coffee, I had decided to help too. I wasn't just doing it because I felt obligated. I wanted to keep discussing the epitaph with someone.
第一の番、第一の番。ローザおばさんはなんか思いつく文字列とか言葉 あるっすか？
さあ、私には全然。でも第1の番じゃなくて第10の番はちょっと気になったかしら。
第10の番？何ですか？
黄金鏡って単語何度も出てくるでしょ。
出てきますね。
なぜか第10の番だけ旅は終わり黄金の今日、いえ里ね、黄金の里へ至るだろうって書かれているの。どうしてここだけ黄金の里と書かれているのか気になってね。
本当だ。確かに他はみんな黄金鏡って書かれてるのに。
Even though all the rest are written Golden Land, the 10th Twilight is the only one where it's different. And Home of the Gold is written instead. I wonder if the word home has some kind of special meaning. Huh. I wonder. Apparently this is yet another hint that flew past my head. The only thing that comes to mind is that Kyo and Sato, they make me think of Q and San, which is like 9 and 3 in English. Like, it has been stated before how different this line is. Hell, I think Rosa pointed this out too in the past. But I cannot seem to find any relevance to the solution that I came up with. Yeah. To think that I have reached a solution by jumping past so many other hints. That is totally me. Just jumping straight to the solution. Just jumping over many hints to get the solution. Hell, it is because of mistakes like that that maybe the solution that I came up with is the wrong one as well. Yeah. It can happen.
しかしバトラ君とあのエリカちゃんって子はすごいわね。発想が本当に柔らかい。私なんかもうおばさんだから頭が全然回転しないのよ。今日の鍵の選び師6人は6文字を間引けという意味だという推理は見事だったわ。そう聞かされちゃったらもうそうにしか思えないけれど、それまでは全然そうだと思わなかったものね。自分の頭の硬さが嫌になるわ。
そんなことないっすよ。ローズおばさんだって頭十分柔らかいっすよ。その黄金の里って発見は何かの鍵になるかもしれないじゃないっすか。
とんでもない。カチカチよ。私なんてついこの間までは第1の番というのは黄金鏡までの道中の10分の1の場所だとか思ってたんだから。
なんすかそれ。面白そうだから聞かせてくれませんか？
だって第1の番の前の行に黄金鏡へ旅立つべしって書いてあるでしょ。そして10日をかけて旅をするわけだから、これはその旅の途中のお話なんだろうと思ったの。
A journey that lasts 10 days.
旅？確かに。
それで旅を始めて最初の一晩目のキャンプで6人を生贄に捧げて。ならその場所ってどこだろう。スタート地点から何キロ目？
How many kilometers from the starting point?
なんてね。内緒よ。おばさんバカだから黄金の里のことずっと黄金の京って読んじゃってて。ほら、京って言うと京都みたいでしょ。だからお父様の故郷から京都までの旅路の最初の10分の1の地点に何か秘密が隠されてるんじゃないかって思って。
いや、めちゃくちゃ斬新っすよその発想。10日をかけての旅の最初の1番目の場所。
Yeah, I am. And the fact that you're giving it all your all with your theories is well appreciated, Rosa. I don't think that you should put yourself down for thinking that you're not smart enough and you do not have bright ideas and such. I mean, each fault counts.
そこの地名が鍵か。
それを知るにはスタート地点とゴール地点がわからないとね。スタート地点は分かってるの。お父様が懐かしむ故郷は分かってる。お父様は少年時代をとても遠方で過ごされたのよね。でも問題はゴールの黄金鏡ね。一体どこのことなのかしら。それが分からなきゃ私の説もさっぱり。
I mean, if you know the starting point, then... Well, based on my solution that I came up with, if you know the starting point, I mean, not just the hometown, but rather, like, the exact point where it starts, and it shouldn't really be a problem to find the finishing goal as well, in my honest opinion.
長いことここで行き詰まってたんだけど、今日のバトラ君たちの推理を聞いてて、やっぱり私の恥ずかしい勘違いだったんだわって思い知ったわ。
いや、それはそれできっと、スタートとゴール10日間の旅、その最初の一番目の到達点。
案外バトラ君ならポロッと解けちゃったりしてね。もしおばさんのヒントで解けたなら1割の半分でもいいから分けっこしてね。約束よ。
She gave me a wink and a smile, which always made my heart jump a little, even though she was my aunt. So what you're trying to do here is cooperate together with Bella to get the gold. Okay. I feel like my head is starting to hurt now. Here it is. As I helped her wash the coffee cups, I kept pondering the epitaph's riddle silently. After I finished helping Auntie Rosa, I went into the corridor on my way to the bathroom. I saw Erika unlocking the door to her room on the way there. Okay, well, whatever Rosa's motive is, what she theorized is not something that I have used, like, at all. I mean, I guess I could think of the distance between the beginning of the starting point for the train station and a tenth of the total length of the train tracks all the way to the end. Like a tenth of that is where Killian is. In which case, not only would you try to find the location on a map if you were a stranger and all that, but maybe if you really want to make sure, like, you can measure the length of the train tracks on the map to see. But other than that, what Rosa is saying here is... it is not something that I have thought of. And I mean, if I am to be honest, I could look at it as Rosa just giving her own theories, which has nothing to do with how to solve the epitaph. But it is just a means of building her character. Like, some of them are gonna give, like, their own ideas, but it doesn't necessarily mean that their ideas are gonna help with the epitaph. Like, realistically speaking, that can happen. It's similar to giving out random trivia. It's not like everything is gonna be important in your mission. It's not like every little thing that comes out of a person's mouth will turn out important. Like, these are people who give their own ideas, which may also turn out wrong. Which, in some aspect, it is realistic. But No. I cannot think like that anymore. Before Umineko, I used to do that, but I do not think that I can do that anymore. If the story is telling us about this through the character of Rosa, then that means Ryukishi is looking at this as something important. The story is not gonna stop and tell us characters' random thoughts that have to do with nothing. Like, it means something from a narrative perspective. This isn't just about making Rosa look smart, even if she's wrong. Like, from a narrative perspective, it is a hint, in my eyes. So, yeah, I guess so.
あんたの部屋は2階じゃなかったか？てっきり上に上がってもう部屋で休んでるのかと思ってたぜ。
ちょっと探し物をしてまして、ここにならあるのではないかと思いまして。
探し物？
Yeah, I can tell. Erika unlocked the door and opened it. A dusty smell drifted out. It was the archive. The distance between the bookshelves was too small for this to be called a library room. This was obviously a room made for storing books, not reading them.
探し物ってのは本なのか？
本と言いますか、まあ資料です。どうしてもしたい調べ物がありまして。
碑文の謎に関する探し物か？
Yeah, it's a no-brainer.
まだ諦めてなかったとは殊勝なこったな。200億の黄金は魅力か？
I hadn't given up either. Apparently, we were both bad at giving up.
まさか私にとって興味があるのは謎解きだけ。
She managed to drift to the island unharmed thanks to several miracles, including the life jacket she was wearing. Miracles.
黄金を求めるのは推理が正しかったことの証明が欲しいからだけです。
To prove you're so smart in front of everyone, eh?
仮に見つけても猫ババなんてしませんのでご安心を。
She mainly dismissed the idea, saying that she just liked solving riddles and had no interest at all in gold. My first impression of her had been that she was a bit of a weird one, and it looked like I hadn't been wrong. Erika started searching for the book she was after, slowly going around the bookshelves. I mean, I do expect her to be mostly interested in solving the puzzles and shoving it in front of everyone. But if she were to lie that she is not interested in the gold, when in fact she is, if she were to lie about that, then I'd be a little bit disappointed in that regard.
碑文の謎解きなら俺もまだ挑戦中だぜ。ああ、そうそう。さっきローザおばさんに第一の番のヒントになるかもしれない面白い話を聞いたぜ。
伺います。
Erika asked this without stopping her search, or even turning to face me.
第一の番にの前の行に鍵を手にせし者は以下に従いうんぬんってのがあったろ。
鍵を手にせし者は以下に従いて黄金鏡へ旅立つべし。
ふう、もう暗記したのかよ。さすがだな。
それがどうかしたんですか？
黄金鏡へ旅立つべしだろ。ローザおばさんは第10の番、すなわち10日をかけて懐かしき故郷から黄金鏡へ向けて旅に出るということを連想したらしい。
実はそれは私も気づいてました。10日かかる旅路の1日目にたどり着く場所、そこから生贄を捧げる。
ああ、ローザおばさんもまさにそれを想像した。面白い推理だと俺も思う。10日の旅の初日にたどり着く場所、その土地、もしくは地名が鍵になるんじゃねえかってな。
地名が鍵になるのではないかという推測は私もしています。だから資料が見たいんです。
I guess on that note, I'm gonna be wishing you the best on solving it. It seems that you're going all in, and you're not gonna stop. Meanwhile, I'm just gonna select some random book here and start reading it myself. Oh hey! Kinzo had Pride and Prejudice as well.
推測を確信に変えるために。
あんた、探し物は何なんだ?
Then Erika's hand suddenly stopped, and she slowly pulled it out. Then, as she dusted it off, she finally looked at me and spoke.
地図帳です。
なんとか1日目をしのぎましたね。
Natsuki could be seen in the study. When she muttered as though to herself, gold butterflies appeared and formed into the shape of a person.
楽観はできんぞ。このままぼんやりと過ごし、明日をしのげるとは思えぬ。やはりお父様が不機嫌で出てこないというだけではごまかしきれませんか。去年の時点で相当の不信を持たれていたようだ。それにより膨れ上がった毒素は今やとぐろを巻くかのようにこの書斎を取り囲み締め上げている。
去年から疑われていただけではないでしょうな。
そうですね。それだけでは説明がつかないくらいに毒素は濃密に練り上げられています。おそらく金蔵様の死を去年の時点から疑い、今年の会議にて暴こうという強い意志があったに違いありません。
去年の時点から騙しきれていなかったということですか。
残念ながらそうお考えになる方が今はよろしいかと。明日も台風はとどまり、迎えの船は明後日になります。つまりあと最低でも36時間を持ちこたえねばならないということです。
夏日の目には見えぬであろうが、この部屋を閉ざす密室結界は極めて強固なものだった。それが今夜だけでボロボロに擦り切れ、嵐を待つ枯葉のようなありさまだ。
いいえ、まさに嵐の真っ只中にありますよ。夏日様、私は密室結界を別のものに変えることを提案いたします。
別のものというのはどういう意味ですか。つまり作戦を変えるという意味ですか。
さようでございます。私とワルギリア様で去年のものに近い結界を再構築します。
つまり去年のように金蔵を極力書斎の外に出し、毒素の影から影へと綱渡りをさせるということだ。
Well, I do have an idea. What if we are to build Kinzo as some form of monster, walking at night in the shadows while the adults are supposed to be asleep? If it will work, Kinzo will be so scary, the adults they will just barricade themselves and have no choice but to believe that Kinzo is still alive. Like, that would be an idea. Maybe we can disguise Genji in a Godzilla suit with Kinzo's clothes, his cloak, like his white hair and like a beard on top. That would be pretty cool.
危険ではあるが、わらわもそれを提案したい。
なんですって？今さら作戦を変えるというのですか？
Yeah, even Beatrice agrees with me.
牢城では切り抜けられぬと分かった以上、城を捨てることも考えねばなりません。
この書斎はもはや敵兵に囲まれ城壁さえも破られかけた城に同じ。座瀬は死を意味するならば玉砕を求めて最後の出陣をするのも手でしょうな。降伏できぬ戦いでしょうから。
お父様の秘密は最後の最後まで絶対に死守します。それを蹴取られれば言い繕う余地など何もない。主人の横領は白日の下にさらされ、後宮家の名誉は失墜します。断固としてそれだけは防がねばなりません。
落ち着け。分かっておるわ。クラウスの錬金術はじきに大勢を迎える。今年を乗り切ればなんとかなるのだ。
Kraus's alchemy.
だからうろたえるでない。
しかし去年と同じ手では無理だとして取った作戦がこの牢城なのですよ。一度は無理と切り捨てた作戦を再び選ぶのは愚の骨頂ではありませんか。一体今さらどういう筋書きを作るというのですか。それは私とロノウェイで用意します。お任せを。幻想を生み出すのは魔女たちの役目。夏日様はそのご許可をくださるだけで結構でございます。
お師匠様もロノウェもこういう時は実に頼れるぞ。片翼のわしの使用人どもも家具としては優秀だ。お師匠様たちが魔法を再構築すればそれを守るために働くだろう。今からでも決して遅くはない。金蔵を書斎から出し、その幻想を歩き回らせよう。
その作戦を長く検討し、それでも有効なものが見出せなかったから牢城を選んだことを忘れましたか。急場にうろたえ軽々しく当初の作戦を投げ出すなど愚かしいことです。しかし夏日様、牢城ではもはやしのぎきれぬことは毒素の真っ只中でそれを感じ取っておられた夏日様が一番ご存知のはずです。私は牢城の方針は変えずに何とか他の作戦を考えられないかと提案します。とにかくこの部屋を密室に保ちさえすれば誰もお父様の存在を否定はできないのです。開けることのできぬ猫箱の中身を断定することなど何人にもできないのですから。
確かにそうではあるが、人間どもは不条理であるぞ。密閉した猫箱とてケーキの箱に群がるクロアリのように箱を食い破って中に入ることもあり得る。ベルンカステル教の駒も気になるしな。
エリカ様が晩餐の話題をさらってくださったのは幸いでした。おかげで今夜の親族会議をお開きにできる雰囲気を生み出してくれたのですから。普段のように即座に親族会議となっていたら今夜にも結界は破られていたかもしれません。
しかしそのせいでより濃密に毒素は練り上げられました。明日まで練り上げられた毒素は密室結界をたやすく犯すでしょう。籠城を続けるにせよやめるにせよ、どちらにせよ新しい作戦と結界を用意しなくては明日は乗り越えられません。
密室結界を破るための何かの策があるのかもしれぬな。ベルンカステル教にはあのエリカというこまめ侮れぬぞ。
それを言えば例の19年前の復讐とかいう謎の男もベルンカステル教の駒かもしれません。18の駒で均衡が取れていた盤面に望まぬ駒が2つも追加された。 イレギュラーが多すぎます、今年は。
So you're thinking of Erika as the person who called Nazi. I am having my doubts. That would imply that Erika has history with Nazi and the family. And based on the red truths and all, it cannot be that Erika had any influence in the past games. Nor in the past of the family, she had nothing to do with it. What I know is that the mystery of this entire thing can be solved with the first 4 games. And since Erika is not part of them, I cannot see Erika as the man from 19 years ago. I cannot see Erika having any connection to the family. What I can say is that this man, quote-unquote man, exists, and that whatever this sin is that Nazi has, it exists. A man, quote-unquote man, wanting revenge on Nazi, it can be true. I'm not gonna doubt those. So the only way I can see it is that either the one that called is this man who is one of the already established humans, which I have talked about, whether it's Shannon, Kanon, or Battler. Or Erika is the one who called Nazi, but only on behalf of the man from 19 years ago. That will be my theory, if I am to stretch it. But I will not bet my dollar on it. It's just that if this event were to happen in the last games, if we were to witness Natsuhi being called by this strange man in the other games, it could be similar to what we've seen here in episode 5. It's just that the way we've seen it can be changed. Maybe Ben Castello Lambda Delta changed it so that this time Erika called on behalf of the mysterious man instead of this mysterious man. The truth is still the same, however, the way that call was presented was changed because of Ben Castello and Lambda Delta, while still keeping it true. But I don't know, I'm having my doubts that Erika called in the first place, to be quite honest.
ベルンカステル教は東洋趣味が終わりだったな。日本のチェス、将棋ではゲーム中に駒を追加することもできるというではないか。
ええ、可能ですよ。敵のキングの目の前に駒置き場より取り出したクイーンを置くことさえ将棋では許された切り札たる一手です。
19年前を語る男はどうしてこの島のどこかにすでに潜んでいるというのでしょうか。あのエリカという少女が漂着と称して現れることができたのです。あの男もこの台風にもかかわらず島のどこかに上陸し息を潜めているのかもしれない。そして親族たちをもはや騙し切ることは難しく。
Okay, I do have to say this. While I did say that maybe Ben Castello and Lambda Delta changed the perspective in a way that made it seem that Erika was the one that called on behalf of the mysterious man. What I can say for sure is that if this mysterious man is important to solving the entire mystery of Umineko, Erika and this mysterious man, in reality, they do not have any connection to each other. They may have some connection in only this game because of Ben Castello and Lambda Delta, but when it comes to the other 4 games, they have no connection. Because remember, Erika did not exist in the other games. So, yeah, they do not have any connection. I don't think... Yeah, I don't think that they have any connection whatsoever. I think that I mean, it can well be that Erika is calling on behalf of the mysterious man, or is tricking Natsuki into believing that it was the mysterious man, even though Erika has no connection to the mysterious man to begin with. Oh my god, can you even imagine? Like, maybe Erika and the mysterious man are gonna call Natsuki. Like, but we're not gonna be able to distinguish between the actual mysterious man and Erika. No. You know what? No. Reset. I'm overcomplicating over here. I'm gonna say that Erika has nothing to do with this.
どうしてこうもイレギュラーが重なるのですか？
Reset.
この悪夢と偶然の奇跡をどう説明すればいいというのですか？
Natsuki slammed at his heart, held her head, and cringed at the pain from her overwhelming headache. Cause, let me think of it this way. The fact that they're talking about the possibility of Erika being the mysterious man, and the fact that Erika just showed up out of nowhere, when we also have discovered about the possibility we discovered about the existence of this 19th month at the same time, that seems too obvious. Ben Costello and Lambda Delta are using this to make us think that the possibility of it being Erika is there. But it can be like a red herring and such. I think I'm gonna go with that kind of mentality from now on.
ベルンカステル教は奇跡を司る。
For now.
あの御人の前にイレギュラーと奇跡は驚くにも値せぬぞ。
将棋は確かにキングの真正面に敵の駒が突如現れることを認めたゲームです。ですが、だからこそそこに隙間を作らぬ完璧な陣形を作り、キングを守る芸術的な城を構築します。
ならばやはり籠城は正しいではありませんか。
こもりきれる籠城ならばいざ知れず、今はそれを期待できる段階にありません。
I mean, you could use your impenetrable shields.
壁を背負わぬキングを詰めるのは難しく、四方を分けたキングを詰めるのはさらに困難だろう。ネズミで考えよ。カゴに閉じ込めたネズミを掴むことはできよう。しかし、野に逃げ出したネズミを掴むことなど、雲を掴むに等しい話よ。
I just thought about this, like right now, in terms of Genji's characterization and connecting this to Ronoe. Ronoe seems to be pretty good with shields, that we have seen in the last game during Jessica's test. What if Ronoe's specialty in using shields is a way of characterizing Genji in the sense that if you were to try and tear information out of Genji, it will be really difficult. Genji has such strong shields when it comes to revealing information that he doesn't want to. Like, no matter what you do, Genji would be the most difficult to tear information out of him. He has shields. He has like strong shields that is not gonna let anyone penetrate in that sense. I mean, that can be a good characterization.
夏日様、どうか検討することのご許可を。
What about Gapto?
金蔵様が書斎をお出になり、気まぐれに屋敷内を闊歩しながら親族の方々の目を逃れる。それが自然である筋書きを明朝までに考えます。
危険では。それくらいならお父様がこの部屋で機嫌を損ねられていることを演じ続けた方が。
明日にも親族の方々はこの書斎の前に詰めかけるでしょう。そこの扉一枚向こう側に詰めかけるのです。そこで夏日様は金蔵様と怒鳴り合いをしているかのようなふりを一体何時間続けられるというのですか。不可能です。
その不可能を何とか36時間逃げ切らねばならないのです。やれと言うならやります。私は後宮夏日、後宮家当主の妻です。それをやれと言うなら 私は何日でもここでお父様と怒鳴り合いをしているところを演じましょう。
Even Natsuki understood that there was no way she could manage it. But she could no longer see any chance of victory from a plan which involved making an illusion of Kenzo walk around. Banging on the desk several times, with tears of intense emotion streaming down her face, Natsuki alternated between groaning from her headache and placing the blame on one thing or another. It was enough to make one feel that there was a curse which made anyone who sat in that chair do the same.
これは奥様が逃げる詰将棋ですな。詰将棋ですから相手のキングはない。決められた手数を逃げ切る以外に奥様に勝つ手はないのです。
その手数か。あと1日半もあるなんて多すぎます。
考えることをやめるでない。降参するでない。愚痴はわらわが聞こうぞ。だから音を上げるでないぞ。そなたの絶対にこの苦難を乗り越えようという絶対の意志が絶対の結果を紡ぎ出す。それこそが絶対の魔女の力。その魔力を失ってはならぬ。必ず乗り越えられると信じよ。きっと妙案は浮かぶ。だからそれを考えることを投げ出してはならぬ。
そうですね。分かっています。私が乗り越えねば他の誰にも乗り越えられぬ困難なのです。
そうとも。それを乗り越えてみせよとそなたは金蔵に託されたのではないか。金蔵はそなたなら託せると認めたのだ。
お父様、お父様。
お師匠様とロノウェが手は考える。もちろんわらわも考える。だが主であるそなたの許可なくばそれも許されぬ。だからせめてそなたは戦う意志を捨てるな。諦めるな。
分かってます。分かってます。でももう疲れ切ってしまって頭痛が耐えられなくて。どうして私はこんなにも冷え切った書斎でたった一人で泣いているの。どうして主人は今ここにいてくれないの。
Back when dinner ended, Kraus claimed to be dizzy and went to bed early. Of course, he had done this to get enough rest to ready himself for the long day ahead. But to not see right now, he felt as though he had just gone straight to sleep and pushed all of that burden onto her. However, complaining about such a thing would mean that she had failed as a wife. Wasn't it a good wife's duty to work hard and think of the families first, even when her husband was resting? Regretting even her anger at her husband, and unable to determine whom she should be angry at, Natsuki continued to sob. If only Kenzo could just speak to her kindly at times like this. Beato searched for him, but Kenzo had been nowhere to be seen in the study for some time now. Perhaps Natsuki had noticed this as well. And though she took pride in fighting alone and supporting from behind, thinking of those as the responsibilities of a good wife, without anyone to validate what she was doing and saying it was needed, she was now so frail that she couldn't even stop her own tears. Just as Beato was thinking of words she could use to console Natsuki, Virgilia tapped her lightly on the shoulder. The words of consolation don't come from the mouth of the right person. They can sometimes do harm. More harm than good. Therefore, Virgilia silently urged Beato that saying nothing was the best course of action for now.
お取り込み中にごめんなさい。部外者だけど発言いいかしら。
Hello there, side boob gup. But yeah, you know, it makes me think of Lambda Delta. About the whole thing with certainties and determination and such. I mean, come on, Lambda Delta. So far, from what I can see, you have been doing absolutely nothing to help the magical side. I mean, there's the magic toxin coming from the adults, and then there's Erika too. What do you, Lambda, have in store? I mean, I get it. When we first started this game, we already took a peek at the end of the supposed game and such. What with Ben Castel closing in on Lambda and almost winning and such. But at the same time, come on, like, are you just gonna let Ben Castel win just like that? Unless it's all an act and such, and they are building up towards Ben Castel having more power through this game for some reasons that I'm not sure of. But still, you gotta at least pretend that you're fighting back, Lambda. You gotta at least do that. Be a good actor and such. Because it is, as I said before, witches are pretty good at being actors and such, apparently. They do seem to be pretty good at making shows.
今は慎みなさい。
いえ、この場にいる限り部外者も客人もありません。発言を許します。
ありがとう。さっきロノウェイは言ったわ。これは夏日が逃げる詰将棋だとね。詰将棋はどうして負けるの？キングがチェックメイトされるからでしょ。言われるまでもないわ。そして敵にはキングがない。だから夏日は自分のキングを逃がし続けるしかない。
なるほど。その手ですか。もうその時が来ましたか。
どういうことです？何か手があるというのですか？
夏日はゴールドスミスの死を隠す一番最初に提案してるわ。それを使う時が来たということよ。
失踪ですか。その一手を親族会議の今指すというのですか。
No.
危険すぎます。
What the hell? Animation? After successfully resolving all their problems, they would have to lay Kinzo to rest. And the way to do that was to make him disappear. One day, Kinzo would go out into the forest and never return. They wouldn't be able to find him no matter how much they search, so he would be declared missing. That is indeed an option, yeah. Very reminiscent of the first game.
さっきリーチェも言ったわ。野に逃れたネズミを捕まえることはできない。そして森に消えたゴールドスミスを捕らえることもね。
それで言い逃れられると？この最も疑われた今にその一手を指すなど、まさに自殺にも等しい一手です。
疑われるでしょう。まさに疑惑と呼ばれるに等しい一手でしょう。
True, it is suspicious. Unless we have some witnesses to make that claim stronger.
しかし、この書斎に彼らが踏み込もうともぬけの殻。金蔵様を捕らえることは永遠に不可能で、その死はこれほどまでに疑わしいにもかかわらず立証することができない。
36時間どころか永遠に金蔵の秘密を守ることができるんじゃない？もちろんそれにふさわしいリスクを背負うことになるけれど、その一手を指せば確かにこの場を乗り切ることはできようが、失う名誉も計り知れぬぞ。それでも確実にこの場を乗り切れる一手よ。もちろん疑惑を大きく背負うわ。でも死なない。
確 確かにそれはそうですが、
関東大震災で後宮家は本当だったら滅んでいるはずだったのよ。それを狂気の天才ゴールドスミスが再建して、あなたが守りたくなるくらいに立派に再建してみせたわ。なら今度はそれをあなたたち新しき当主夫妻がやってみせるべきなのよ。
ほう、そういう煽り方をなさいますか。
煽りじゃないわ。当主夫人としての覚悟を私は聞いているだけよ。泥をすすってでも後宮家を守る覚悟があなたにはあるんでしょ。
あります。
今がその時よ。泥をすすって生き延びられるならいくらでも飲み干しなさい。あなたは苦害を這いずって生き延び、やがては必ず栄光を取り戻す。この序列第33位のガープがそれを約束してあげるわ。ガープ。私がこのタイミングでここへ遊びに来たのは、きっとそれを望む偶然の神々のお導きでしょうよ。守ってあげる。後宮夏日。対価は不要よ。あんたに仕えてるリーチェからすでにたっぷり前払いされてるわ。
Gab seemed quite cavalier, but she was actually possessed by a strong sense of duty. She was the kind of person who just couldn't leave someone in trouble alone.
前払い？はて、わらわがいつ？記憶にないぞ。
あなたがどこにしまったか思い出せないマジックアイテムの数々。随分とちょろまかせてもらってるもの。
見つからないのはやはりそなたの仕業だったか。
You mean Beatrice's secret stash of goodies?
返せ！幻の金髄賞とムーンステーキ返せ！
Yeah, give them back. Otherwise, Beato will stomp her foot in anger, and she's gonna eat you up.
まだくっつけて遊んでないのに。
私から授けられる魔法と作戦はそんなところよ。ゴールドスミスを誰にも見つけられない世界へ私は隠すことができる。この魔法が必要になったらいつでも言って。その直前まで夏日は他のもっと無難な作戦を思案すればいい。
確かに選択肢を残すことは心のゆとりを残すこと。心にゆとりなくして妙案も生まれぬものです。
夏日様、夜は短くありません。ガープの手は最後の切り札とし、今は策を練りましょう。そのご許可をどうか。そして必ず成し遂げられるという信頼と魔力と絶対の信念を我らにお与えください。
あんたが信じれば私がそれを叶えるわ。あんたが疑えばそれも私が叶える。未来をあなたが作りなさい。
Having Kinzo go missing, and doing it right in the middle of this family conference. That was truly a last resort. Hiding this final trump card in her heart, Natsuhi decided that she would go around for a different plan until the last second. After all, this long, long night had only just begun. And it was long not only for her. Then Costello and her pieces had just as much time.